competitive process where we shape our prizes. And in 2016, it won our global visioneering competition. And incredibly, ANA stepped up with $20 million of cash, $10 million for the prize purses, $10 million to run it. We're seeing the running of it going on right here.
Yeah, I just want to hold for a second, Peter. We are underway with Team AVATRINA, and we just got to let Mission Control have the communication with the Avatar. Then don't go anywhere.
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
talk
here.
with you. Just hang on with us and watch this run. That'd be great.
Oh, Mission Commander, Avatar Justin reporting for duty.
Greetings, Avatar Justin. Mission Commander Bankston here, and I'm very thankful for you and your assistance on this important mission. We're after some energy abundance rocks to save Planet X. There's some critical tasks I need you to accomplish, and they're going to take great skill as an Avatar operator. So I hope you're ready. The first thing I need you to do is head over to the station hatch and maneuver the switch to the on position. That will allow you to go through the station hatch and travel across Planet X's surface. Travel down the surface and find the power station. There you will need to identify a full power canister. Not all of them are full. Grab a full one, put it in the canister holder. This will initiate a power transfer over to the asset storage, bringing the lights on and allowing you to traverse the terrain over and finding a drill. Grab the drill, use that to remove the bolt on the access panel. The access panel will fall away and reveal the storage of the energy abundance rocks. Now, the key thing here is to find those rocks is you have to identify them by their very rough texture. So you need to use your sense of touch, identify the proper rock, and remove it to complete your mission. I know those are a lot of complicated tasks. Are you copying that?
That Mission Commander, switch, open the door, navigate the planet's surface to the power station, pick up the heavy power, put it in the slot, move on to the asset containment area, pick up the drill, open the door, find the rough rock, and save Planet X.
Great. Now get started. Your clock is already ticking. Good luck.
I'm on my way.
Well, there it is. AVATRINA is well underway at a time of 2:30, doing under 2:30 out of Mission Control. It's pretty outstanding. So, Peter, it's all here now. It's all a thing that's real. With all these teams competing, the different ways they solve these problems, the different way you see it, what do you think the future? How do you think this might seed the future?
So, you know, the reality is we're entering a mixed world of reality and virtual reality, and people don't realize the amount of things you can do in a minute of time is extraordinary, right? In the past, if you needed to go and research a subject, you'd have to hop in your car and drive to the library, hope they had the book. If they didn't, go to another library, copy it all down, and now you Google. And what we're doing is we're digitizing, dematerializing, and demonetizing and democratizing everything, and robotic avatars are part of that. I think the interesting question is what, you know, as I'm going around and speaking to these teams, what's their business case? What are they focused on? Here we see another point score.
Yeah. And it looks like Mission Command Josh felt that was an excellent interaction, so they got the 2 points assigned from Mission Command, so they're making great time here. They were already in the top 5, so they're just shooting for time now. As I seemed like the operator seemed to know, as he was like, got it, here's the rules, let's move on.
Let's make it happen.
Yes. I'm pedal to the metal, young robot. So are these going to be used in healthcare? Are they going to be used in environmental emergencies? Are they going to be used to visit different parts of the planet? You know, I think we're going to see all of these things. But what we're really going to see is not just human operators, but it's human and AI collaboration, right? Where you're going to allow yourself to be driven around and passively by an AI, but you can jump in and control it. Now, what gets really interesting isn't today, but it's about a decade from now when we start to connect your brain, you know, to these robots, where you can feel directly to the sensors and you can think and move, right? Our neocortex of our brain, we have 100 billion neurons, 100 trillion synaptic connections, and we're going to be able to connect that neocortex directly to these robots. We are going to do that with people who've had cervical fractures and such, but we're also going to do it with people who just want to have an extra set of limbs or the ability to tune in and do something. And it's going to be native. It's not going to be learning some new interface. It's going to feel like I'm moving my arms and I'm actually moving the robot's arms. I'm walking and I'm moving the robot's legs. So this is the early days still, but it's exciting to see the different approaches being taken.
It is, and for you, for where you are, so the last live XPRIZE event was '04, so it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Now, we've had multitude of
Yeah.
XPRIZEs won. We haven't had a public event like this. We've had our XPRIZEs won for mapping the ocean floor, for pulling water out of the atmosphere, for basically cleaning up oil spills. But those have been private events, and this is the first time we were creating a public event. I hope the majority of our future XPRIZEs are public. I know we're getting ready to launch a prize soon that's going to be very visual. It's going to be for those who are in California or Australia or Greece. We're getting ready to launch a wildfire detection and extinction prize. It's going to be very visual, light a fire, and then hope someone puts it out within 10 minutes before it becomes a conflagration.
Well, the logistics on that one sound crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Or hot, or something like that.
It'll be cool when we get rid of the hot. That'll make it cooler. That's how it's all going to work out. It's with the community, the people around you like talking business case with them. What is it like to be amongst people like this, where you know this is the early iteration, but you can see ahead these ideas, neocortex integration. For you personally, what's that like? What's that experience?
Well, I mean, these are entrepreneurs who are working to learn, to build capabilities.
Right.
And what I found super impressive was the rate at which they're iterating. You know, what makes this possible today is our, I want to see our robot friends over here. What makes this possible today is 3D printing. What makes it possible today is machine learning and a whole range of other technologies.
Yep, AVATRINA has approached the canister system. She's there, even though our operator is a male, in 7 minutes. So the time is great up through this. Now, you know, Peter, this is one of those systems that was designed originally for medical work, and now it's doing this competition. So it's interesting to see the adaptability and resiliency from the designers, from the developers, to be able to adjust to a competition like this.
Yeah, it is. And part of what we try to do is create a level playing field where you can see all of them compared to each other, so that you can have large corporations and high school startups actually being competed apples to apples. And that makes it fascinating. So you can actually see new ideas prove themselves out.
And you brought it up, and one of the teams that was here amidst all these other high-tech, huge collaborations was a family from Pennsylvania with under $2,500, a $2,000 system they designed, and they were in it. They missed the cut yesterday by a half point.
Yes.
And it would have been them hanging it, and they'd done all the design things, all the resiliency things, all on a budget that was a family budget.
And they built everything internally, right?
Yeah, totally. 3D printing was a huge part of it, so super cool. Well, you know, I know you have a lot to do today. You're more than welcome, obviously, to hang out with us, but I'm sure you probably want to get to things. We can wrap up AVATRINA here.
Yeah, she's doing, or it's doing well. I always try and anthropomorphize these. Is it a she? Is it a he?
Yeah.
You know.
It's, you know, this Trina, the tele-robotic nursing assistant, which is wild. We've talked about this, Julie, like in the medical field in particular. And, whoop, that was a quick burst. It's one of the spaces in which you want human interaction, but you may need distance. And this is one of those technologies that can really serve.
Yeah, amazing. Well, guys, thank you so much for being our host here today. Super. I'm going to go watch this robot from the sidelines. Go for its drill. Yeah, and again, I wish our robot overlords all the best.
Well, we'll have to have a discussion with you if this is what happens. So, Peter Diamandis, thanks so much for being with us. A real pleasure. We'll see you around.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. And AVATRINA is finishing up. That's right. Round of applause. Absolutely. AVATRINA is deep into this course with a great time at 9:19. Has a 10 total points right now. You see the overhead, you know, those red, as you said, Julia, those red alerts can, you know, sometimes color can be a confusing thing for an operator.
Absolutely, yeah, but I think from a perspective of being communicated with on how good you're doing, it's invaluable.
I know you're happy about the choice that was made by that operator, because that's a left-handed drill being used.
I love it when they pick the left one.
Moving through with the drill at 9:30. 50. So Team Northeastern was a little ahead on that timing. So we'll see where things go, because now it's about aligning. You know, there's a warning there for the overhead that the right arm can't reach, and obviously that's part of the training that has to be given to the operator to know what that means.
Right, and I think it's, you know, it can be disruptive when you're just kind of hanging out with that arm, and you've got a whole other arm that's in play. So, you know, it's part of that cognitive load, and, you know, he had to literally go and say, okay, I'm going to move my right arm so I don't get those flashes. Understanding what to give the human win is artificial intelligence in itself.
That is the AI balance you'd want. And that part of what Patrick talked about as operators, you can't see the north-south orientation on the drill, the angle the drill is approaching that wall, and it looks in the overhead nice and 90 degree, but clearly it's, you know, it's 8 or 10 degrees off that 90, which means while it's spinning, landing that on the nut is a super challenge.
Yeah, especially spinning that fast. And
Almost on cue. It is a challenge, but it's doable. But now, but that angle's off.
Yep.
Right, and there you go. So you can't recognize, this operator just can't recognize right now that's a little low. Justin's not getting the sense that it's
highly constrained manipulation here.
Highly constrained manipulation. It's on again, but the torque and the angle aren't quite right. Now it is, but now backing that out, as a human, you do it with your arm probably.
Yep, you have to follow a line. Right?
There it goes.
There you go.
So we are now into the rock challenge, but where did that drill go? It bounced to the side. All right, so Trina can now approach that drill. The rock, it's 11:35. That's a really good time. That actually jumped ahead now, made up the time, the difference between Northeastern and AVATRINA. Northeastern got things open about 12:05, so there's about 30 seconds picked up. Now it's about tactile, texture response, and getting that pink rock.
Right. And when we talked to Camila yesterday, the rock mode that they have there, and they have just a couple of modes, but the rock mode is, once you get in there, it locks your wrists, so you don't have to think about what's happening with that, and gets you into a good orientation for your gripper to be able to feel and then grasp that rock. So it's a little bit of autonomy, if you will, or automation that supports the task that you're trying to do as a human operator.
And that's, we've discussed, when you can make the system great for robotic parts and when you can make it for human parts and to assign them to the right entity.
Right, exactly.
So part of what we see is that they've chosen some AR, right? So you can see through. There it is, the rock mode being activated. So you can see the left hand that's not in the space is sort of visually, you can see it exists, but it's not in your field of view. This operator wants to go home.
If there's anything you can do to restore my right arm to functionality, I can get you a rock.
So the right arm's P-stopped is a warning that's happened from inside the system now. Those of us who haven't trained on it, we don't know what that means. I think the operator was just asking how to get that reset.
Right arm is dead. All right.
Oh, that's an unfortunate.
Yeah, the left arm still is available, but that right arm is now in the way.
Well, okay. All right. Well, let's do that. All right. There's a little bit of sensing. You need to feel a rough rock.
That's a huge challenge now. That right arm is, the two-prong gripper is massive in relation to the amount of space that he can operate in.
Right, and this is the right one to use, right, to grab this rock. Even pulling it out is dangerous, right? And where it is at, you can't lift it up if it's dead. He's just trying to get it out of the way.
And now he's really working in an augmented space. Can't see anything.
And the left arm.
And the left arm is what he's got to operate with.
And you can see through his view, it's having issues from end to travel standpoint too.
Yeah. That's a lot of warnings in an overhead.
It is. He's working through them, but that adds to stress. It adds to, you know, your biometric kind of load, right?
It's blood pressure's. So the entire. This is now the depth of this. I don't think it's red at all. I couldn't tell which of those rocks fell.
I think it was the pink one.
So that's going to be an enormous challenge right there.
There's still another one, but I think it. Oh no, it's a gray.
It's great, but it's clearly that container system for those rocks is taking some abuse right now. I'm not sure how that's going to hold up. The judge is going to have to make a call, I think, at some point on the viability of that space right there.
The sensor was there.
He really just needs. He's really trying to get that overhead reset.
So if you can get me my right arm back, I think I can get you a rock.
Oh, maybe they're rebooting. Look, the right arm is moving, or at least the gripper.
The head just had a big reset without him looking up, so we'll see if that's what's underway. The drill has met the floor. One of the rocks is on the floor. Current time 15:50. 9 tasks done. Perfect score for Mission Command. Their time yesterday was 24:47. So their goal is there's still 8 minutes to sort out this challenge, to sort out this problem, to be ahead of their time from yesterday. It gives them not just one up on themselves, but puts them in great position against Team Northeastern as well, which finished at 21:08, but a half point off perfect.
Yeah, they're literally. Oh my goodness,
Something's wrong.
we're losing a wheel off the ground there, with the arm pushing against the structure. It is definitely not a great situation to be in.
For the rock container or that avatar.
For the whole
For
system.
the whole system. For the ecosystem we're in. This is wildly dramatic. 16:45 now is the time. You can see the configuration of those rocks. Boy, to figure out the texture on any of those without being able to see them and to use a remote system of sensors to get the feedback to pick the right one is an unbelievable challenge now. Yeah, that right arm is really just going to be a problem.
And it's a smart idea. Go in sideways, see what you can do there. Obviously, from a workspace standpoint, that is not how they designed that robot.
Right.
So it is unlikely to have the risk manipulation ability to be able to do that. However, you got to try, you know?
Yeah, he just did sort of a sweep through, but just couldn't get contact with any of the rocks he wanted. He doesn't have the lineup. He's
Yeah.
wanting to get all the wrists are backwards at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the common workspace, obviously, robotics would be designed to work right in front of your head where you're seeing,
Right.
you know, and we can do it. I can reach around myself and feel things out because my kinematics, but it's really hard to design a system where you've got these motors at different places in the kinematic chain that you have to make it be able to do those sorts of outside of a nominal workspace manipulation.
Right, and this is, again, this is one of those systems that's been very successful in the medical space to actually get things accomplished and now has been modified to try to do it. Obviously, those sized arms, no one said, hey, we're going to put that inside of a 12 by 14. I'm not sure what that was. I can't tell if that was part set or part avatar.
Things are dropping, all we know.
We are in it now.
Well, this is the last run of the competition for AVATRINA, so...
I think he still wants to return most of it. I think he'd like to return the system mostly
but
in
from a
place.
strategy standpoint,
Sure.
you can be a little more aggressive.
But if you have to spend $2 million to replace it, then that's not helpful.
Fair enough.
But that was a huge back out, by the way. And obviously, that's something Patrick had alluded to before as well, which is if you don't have a rear view mirror, for lack of a better term, if you don't have a rear view camera,
Yeah.
any move like that is wild. It's risky.
And Camila kind of said yesterday, when we noticed the hand, the AR hand and the actual hand being separated so much, it was a latency issue.
Right.
And so that's a huge deal. We haven't spent a lot of time talking about that before Patrick came up, but it is absolutely, make or break on these control systems.
Yeah, and it looks right now, both those arms and the grippers are locked.
And we e-stopped.
And that's an e-stop. So they called it. All right, well, that was a thrilling run through there. And again, these scores are not cumulative. The best score of the 2 days is still your best score, and so the AVATRINA will be